Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Beatdowns with the Boss. Thank you so much for joining us. This week we have a pretty sweet deck. This is the Panharmonicon deck. There's been a few different iterations of it, but most recently Seth Manfield top-8'd Grand Prix Denver with it, and this is his build, and it's a pretty wacky deck, but it's positioned really well in Standard right now against a lot of the top decks, particularly the green-red Aetherworks Marvel deck. So basically what it's looking to do is use this key card, Panharmonicon, to abuse the fact that there's a lot of great cards in the format that have come into or enter the battlefield triggers. In addition to Panharmonicon making it so that you can get extra triggers, there's also Eldrazi Displacer, which is a pretty powerful card, and again, lets you get extra triggers. So you've got Thraben Inspector to start your curve. I don't know, maybe best card in Standard along with Smuggler's Copter. Smuggler's Copter is basically the only thing. Actually, wait, does that work? Yeah, you get double loots. So Smuggler's Copter, also, you get extra loots. Glint-Nest Crane can find your stuff, draw you extra cards. Eldrazi Displacer I basically already covered. Reflector Mage, can bounce things. Absolutely great with Eldrazi Displacer and really good with Panharmonicon. Pilgrim's Eye, nice come into play effect. Thought-Knot Seer, you can kind of get the lock on your opponent, which is pretty sweet. Cloudblazer, again, just another great source of card advantage. Also gains you some life. And Skysovereigns hits really hard. Being able to cast it and have it deal 6 damage to one thing or 3 damage to two means that it can take out not only big things, but also if your opponent's swarming the board. If you go Panharmonicon into Skysovereign, you're gonna have an easy time catching up. And then to top it all off, you've got 2 Drowner of Hopes, just an extremely powerful card. Again, with a come into play effect, good at catching you up when you're behind, as well as helping you close out the game. I think one of the key themes when you're playing a card like Panharmonicon is that you're going to take a turn off to cast Panharmonicon, and so you got to make sure you have cards like Reflector Mage, Skysovereign, Drowner and Hope that can basically catch you up from taking a turn off. Also in the main deck, worth noting, there's 2 Westvale Abbeys, which is positioned really well against a lot of the Emrakul decks. A lot of the Emrakul decks don't actually have a way to deal with an Ormendahl once Westvale Abbey has flipped. So that can be a great way to make it so that your opponent just can't actually kill you. On the sideboard, we've got some more stuff that kind of synergizes with Panharmonicon. Filigree Familiar for when we're dealing with aggro decks. Thought-Knot Seer when we want a little more hand disruption. Linvala is just a great haymaker against aggro decks. Filigree Familiar does a lot of good work in making sure you get to the late game, and then Linvala makes sure that you just win the late game. We've got some extra counter spells. Pretty nice suite, Negate, Spell Shrivel, as well as Summary Dismissal. Again, I think Seth played this deck because he thought a lot of the best players would be playing Emrakul decks. And then we also can round things out with some efficient spot removal, Fragmentize against the vehicle decks, Aether Meltdown, kind of just against anything, and then there's also a single Immolating Glare. So really sweet deck, like I said, kind of a wacky one, but Seth got a top 8 at the last Grand Prix in Denver, so it's got some serious chops. I don't think it's actually that great against the overall field, but I think it's really good against what was expected to be the top decks for that weekend, specifically the Marvel, like basically all the Emrakul decks. So let's get into some games.